Hey everyone, Eric on Paper here, and I'm Eric. And first off, I want to say thank you for getting over 700 subscribers. The goal is eventually one day to get monetized. Should put out more videos to do that, but nah, I'd rather just, wonder why life isn't just giving me what I want. All kidding aside, thank you for your support, and we're just going to keep growing and getting bigger and bigger. This is the video where I answer your questions that you've posted to me on Instagram, and I did a YouTube short where a lot of people wrote in their questions. I'll talk about the last shooting session that we did for Spider-Man 4 and what is coming up in the future. In the meantime, please consider hitting like, follow, and subscribe, or consider smashing the like button and leaving a toxically positive comment down below and sharing the video with people you despise, because I need that. The shoot was really cool. We filmed in the Black Cat Lair set, and I described previously that it was going to be looking like an abandoned building, and Bryn's set nailed it. He was really proud of the set. When we got there, he was just pointing out, oh, I did this and this, and like he would add cobwebs, debris everywhere, things like that. He was just really proud and excited, and it turned out to be a great set. I had asked if we could fog up the set earlier, and we would just use a fog machine between takes just to create that hazy atmosphere. And there's something strange about smoke in the atmosphere where it takes just an average image and just there's some ethereal quality to it that has probably been described by much better filmmakers, but it just really gave a lot of great atmosphere to the set, so I'm really glad we went with that. We filmed a pretty dramatic scene between Peter and Felicia. What I really liked about that scene was just seeing what the actors brought to it, and then encouraging them to go further, get more intense with it. And Mandy, who plays Black Cat, is one of like the nicest, sweetest people I've met. I don't know if this is a ruse. She could be a horrible person in real life. Just kidding, Mandy, if you're watching this. But anyway, so initially it was kind of a challenge for her to, get in Bryn's face and really yell at him. I mean, that's no challenge for me. That's what I do for fun. But eventually it got really intense, and then I directed Bryn, no, get back in her face, challenge her. Yeah, Peter Parker can be a little bit meek, except when lives are on the line. Then that's when we see him be the superhero and be Spider-Man, and that's what I really wanted to get in the scene, and I think we got a lot of great material to work with. You can see a lot of their relationship evolving in that scene. Also, we got on green screen and filmed some scenes of Black Cat stealing files from Wilson Fisk for a reason that I can't disclose because spoiler alerts. I'll say though that Bryn went all out and built a server tower for us, and we couldn't look at contemporary server towers or anything like that. We had to look back to around when the time of filming was going to be done. Bryn interviewed people who worked on server towers and things like that, and a lot of the time on set he said, look, if anyone complains about this in the YouTube comments, I can, back this up with this and that. And I think, as funny as that is, I do love the level of detail that's going into it, and I think is going to make this film pretty special. That's enough of that, and now on to your questions, and this is in no particular order. I got a lot of great questions, a couple weird ones. I'll do my best to answer, and this is going to be off the cuff. I haven't scripted any of this. And also, if in answering your questions I get your name wrong, my apologies. I will send you an edible arrangement or something. So the first question I got comes from Ronnie Mahaney and was answered by A Heart on Fire, so shout out to A Heart on Fire for doing my job for me. But anyway, Ronnie, to answer your question of are you doing the final swing? Yeah, of course. We've got it all boarded out and planned, and we actually shot the scene leading up to it. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Some questions I combine, if people have asked similar questions, I'll give you both credit, such as, how much are you guys done with filming? Now this question was asked by both They Took It Daily and SN1PE. Snipe? Sorry, you're going to be getting a gift basket of some kind. So how much are we done filming? We are done filming, I would say roughly about a quarter of the movie, give or take. A lot of this, you have to realize, is going to be fully computer generated. So keep in mind we can't actually shoot that, but we are storyboarding and doing animatics for that. What are your shot compositions like? And this is from Will Byrne. I believe it's Will Byrne. I am terrible with guessing things like this. So our shot compositions are ideally fantastic, but a lot of we're filming in the same aspect ratio that the Raimi movies are, or were filmed in. So one of the things that we're doing with that is keeping in mind classic stuff like the roll of thirds, etc., all that good stuff. But I've noticed about Raimi's style that I just like to do myself is I mean I love comics, obviously. I try to keep it very comic book like, where most shots are dynamic compositions in and of themselves. We're doing a lot of a lot of emotions are coming into the scenes, a lot of heavy lifting, and for that you don't want these like Michael Bay style, elaborate camera moves when characters are confessing dark secrets or admitting harsh truths or things like that, because you want to focus on the character. And in that, we've kept the shots sometimes handheld, but like locked off, intense, so you can really see what's going on in the actor's eyes. But then when it comes to the action scenes, the camera's going to be wild and moving and crazy. It's going to feel like, in an ideal world, it's going to feel like, you're watching a Raimi movie. This weird one comes from Big Mike himself, who asks, will MJ get tickled in it? Our next question comes from a lot of people. Wyatt N02, Charlie Albert 2000, and Sunday Not Sunday, when he said, when will we get a freaking trailer? Okay, you and me both want to know this. Every shot but one is ready to go in the teaser trailer. Music's done, sound design is done. The stuff that we shot on green screen the compositions are all done, rendered out. We've got one shot left. It needs to be an action shot. So we are working on it. And I don't want anyone harassing any of the team over this, but as soon as that shot's cut in, that trailer's going to get out there and hopefully be a really positive reaction, because I've seen it and it's pretty good. We just need that one shot. So from Yoastverst Continued asks, so what was the process you used to keep your mindset on the project? Well, Yoastverst, a lot of it is realizing that a lot of people want to see this movie. A lot of people are excited for it. A lot of people have stuck with it for a very long time, and I don't want to let anyone down. I believe Onyx Oyola asked, I think that's how you say it, asked the question, will there be Peter and MJ scenes? Yeah, we filmed several actually. They are a lot of the scenes that make up the dramatic tension in the movie, a lot of the heart and soul. So I think that people are really going to enjoy seeing Leona and Bryn acting together. One of them does really good work, and the other one's Bryn. Just kidding, Bryn. This question comes from 1337 Mando. If you don't know who that is our black cat. She asks, how do we make such fire? Well, to answer that question, I think it's just because everyone comes prepared. Everyone is really a huge comic fan, a huge Spider-Man fan. We were all touched by the Raimi movies. We grew up with them, and we want to do them justice. And it comes from everyone pushing themselves not to give 100%, but to give 200% to make every scene dynamite. This question comes from Zane E27. Are any effect shots done? And if so, can you put a single frame of it? Sure, here they are. This question comes from Charlie Albert 2000. Yeah, Charlie asked another question before, but he's the 2000th Charlie Albert, so we've got to give him respect. How was your experience being the iconic duo of Spidey and Cat to live action? Well, it was pretty cool. Of course, I'd seen both Bryn and our Spidey double Greg in the suit before, and yeah, it was kind of surreal. I just see the superhero and I tell him what to do, and he does it, so the power goes straight to my head, but I'm just kidding. Overall, I think that that was a great experience. Then, of course, I'd seen Mandy beforehand, met her at Comic Con cosplaying as someone else, and we've done some online rehearsals. But then, when I see her in the costume, and then when she and Spidey are together, yeah, it does just send kind of like a tingle down my fanboy spine, and I'm like, oh my god, this is happening. And then when they're both in character talking, uh, I get as excited as I hope the viewers will get just to see this come to life. Both have invested a lot in their performances. During the first rehearsals, when it's not quite there and I just make one or two adjustments, I check to see if, like, how I imagine them talking on the comic page, is that what's being translated in the movie? And if it is, and it usually always is, then we've got the take. Oh, hi! You caught me answering a question from Comic Tropes. This next question comes to me from Chris Piers of Comic Tropes fame, and if you haven't checked out his channel, I highly recommend doing it. I listen to him all the time when I am drawing or doing any kind of work. It is probably the best comic channel I've seen for deep dive essays, and he's now doing interviews with some high profile creators, including Todd McFarlane, for example, who inspired a lot of the lizard elements of Spider-Man 4. Are there going to be any cool fight scenes in the movie? Yeah, you bet. To list them off in no particular order, we've got Spidey versus Shocker versus the Prowler versus Rhino versus the Vulture multiple times. Quick fight with Black Cat. Well, not that quick, but a really fun fight with Black Cat. And multiple fights with the Lizard. Then you're going to see Black Cat kick ass on her own, and we've got an action montage of Spidey and Black Cat working together as a duo. So we have no shortage of cool fight scenes in a variety of ways we're going to bring it to. Multiple people have asked. Connor Hurry and Gavin Gwynn have asked, will Sandman be in the movie or his whereabouts referenced? He is referenced. Will he be in the movie? No, I'm afraid not. But I believe that we do drop his name in the script a bit. I would say No Way Home does explain a bit more about Sandman than we do. Tancred Lewat, I hope I said your name right, asks, will the film... he asked a longer question, I condensed it. Will the film have only two villains instead of the Spider-Man 3 problem? Yeah, structurally, the film's only got about two villains that Spider-Man actively engages. It has Lizard and Vulture. Kingpin does figure into the plot line. What I think the problem, when I bring up all the villains before, and it sounds like villain overload, the problem more had to do with structure than amount of villains in the movie. A lot of the villains I talked about for the fight scenes are going to be in the film for a few minutes at most, because these are the characters that Sam Raimi wanted to cameo, but he didn't feel were worthy of a full movie, which I kind of find interesting because Mysterio is one of those characters that's going to be in the film, but Raimi didn't think he was worth a movie. I would say that Far From Home proved him wrong, but it's just kind of interesting how artists have different opinions on characters. But we won't have the Spider-Man 3 problem because the script, frankly, is structured better, and we don't have Avi Arad trying to get us to sell toys. Charlie Table asks if he said he just stumbled on the project. He wants to know, will this be a continuation of the Raimi Spider-Man movies? Of course, absolutely. It's why we're here, because we love the Raimi films. TJ Channels asks, is there a chance we'll hear the Alone theme from Spider-Man 1 and get a soundtrack? To answer your question, yes, our very talented composer, William McCarthy, is echoing a lot of the great Danny Elfman themes, so we're probably going to be getting a variant of it. We're not ripping anything from the soundtracks. We're bringing the themes back, but William's bringing his own flavor to certain things. Will there be a soundtrack? I personally don't see why not. That's up to William and Bryn, but yeah, I'd love one. This next question comes from Jedi Master Daniel 96. First off, I'm honored a Jedi is contacting this channel. Thank you very much. Uh, Without spoiling anything, will there be a connection to No Way Home? To answer your question, not really. We've had to go back and change some things based around some dialogue or plot points mentioned in No Way Home, but Spider-Man 4 doesn't lead into No Way Home. What we're actually doing is basing it off of what Raimi would have done if Spider-Man 4 was filmed as is. Like, when they were making this, they had no idea that the MCU was going to be a thing. There were no plans for that, and that's the approach we're taking. Now the question is from Ty202. Did you take any inspiration from the Sam Raimi tie-in games? Oh, that's a good one because I played a ton of those growing up. There were multiple iterations on different systems, but I would say the thing I took the most inspiration from was the Shocker level in the first Sam Raimi game. He looks a bit different than was portrayed in the game in our movie, and that just had to do with practicality. Uh, but the way Spidey fights and deals with him, I took from that first game. Vulture was also in that first game, but the evidence we have of what was planned for Spider-Man 4 contradicts his game appearance, so we're going with what Raimi was actually going to go with. Interestingly, though, for the Mysterio section I talked about earlier, I based it a bit more loosely on the PS1 Spider-Man game, because that was like one of my favorite games of all time. I played that one to death. I really missed that game, actually. I should see if I can track the copy down. But that fight with the giant Mysterio and Spider-Man having to fight him on multiple levels, I took some inspiration from that. I talked with Bryn about that pretty early on. Andrew Butler wants to know, what is the best thing about working on Spider-Man 4? Well, I think it's a chance to work on a superhero movie. I told everyone since I could walk that one day I would make a Spider-Man movie, and I'm doing it. I think that seeing these costumes, seeing these characters come to life, and working on a production with dedicated people that really care about the product, because when you're an independent artist, sometimes, actually all the time, you really have got to motivate yourself to like give yourself a kick in the butt to say, okay, I've got to get this done, when really, I mean, right now it's a beautiful day out, I could be taking a nice walk, and really it's the passion that everyone brings that's like one of the best things to see. And then looking behind the camera, seeing what Daniel is capturing and realizing, oh my god, this looks like a real movie. It's something, it's a thrill that I don't think ever really goes away, even after a long day of shooting, because the days are fun, but they are long, and people start to get tired, you know. But then you watch the playback, and then it just gets you fired up again. And I think everyone's going to see that. Tommy Glathar, I hope I said it right. How long until we finish filming and the release date? Well, we get a couple scenes done a month. The release date and when we finish filming, I would love to have the majority of filming done by the end of this year. That would be like the coolest thing ever. The release date, that all depends on CGI rendering. Our sound guy, Danny Mallow, is really talented and really experienced, so I think that the audio post-production process won't nearly be as long. Then it just comes down to the effects and rendering. This question comes from Ronaldo Vidal Mitz, I believe. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, Ronaldo. But since you are playing Alistair Smythe in the film, is there a chance we'll get to see any Spider Slayers like in the comics? Well, this comes into spoiler alert territory, so I can't really confirm if they're going to be Spider Slayers in the movie. I hope you understand. Okay, well, this has been a lot of fun. I love the questions I got. I love interacting with everyone, and Our next shoot's coming up. We're going to film a scene towards the big climactic finale of civilians in danger and Spidey coming in to save them. So that'll be some, cool stuff going on. I'll, as per usual, share on here and on my Instagram. So like, follow, and subscribe to those. The next set being built is going to be the Kingpin's office, and it's going to be pretty freaking cool. I can't wait to show off that one. And I'll be performing as Smythe, and then we'll have Ed as Kingpin, and it is going to be so great. I'm so excited, can't wait to film that. So in the meantime, just keep quiet, keep the good questions coming. I might do another Q&A soon, and hope you have a great day, and keep telling your stories.